Hey everybody, so I'm super excited to be able to show you guys this tutorial on how to use the onboarding Trello board. So let's go ahead and jump in. I guess I want to explain a little bit about why we're using this and why we created this in the first place. I know that when we are first starting out and throughout our whole business, day to day, we may send a bunch of proposals or we may send a proposal a day, and the only way that we keep track of them sometimes is by email. And so you know how hectic that can get, or by taking notes or different things like that. So I am here to kind of show you around in this Trello board and show you how it can benefit you. So I'm super pumped about it. Let's start with just the basic Trello instructions. So over here on the top right hand corner, you're going to see the show menu option. And so in here you can add members to the actual board, and this will allow you, once you grow your business and once you hire people to help you out with marketing and keeping track of all your processes and systems, you can add team members on here. You can change your backgrounds here. You can filter cards here. So if you have a label, you can filter to only see the cards with the label, and with the team member that's on there. And then this is my favorite, which is what's due when. So let's say you want to contact a client or a potential client by Friday, and you put the due date on Friday, you'll be able to go ahead and filter that, which is super awesome. I love it. And also it has some power-ups. I believe that you're limited to the power-ups you can use in the free version, and then you get a little bit more in the gold version, and then you get all of them in the business version. So these are just a few of the power-ups that you can use. And so you can even use this with Salesforce, which is awesome. So if you go ahead and decide to invest in Salesforce, you can have, I'm not sure if it's free, I believe it's free, but you can have it integrated with whoever it gets added on Salesforce. So you can integrate it with your actual CRM and this board, which is pretty awesome. Pipedrive also does that. And so just a couple of different things that you can do. You can add stickers just for fun. I always do that with my boards. This is just the general settings. Labels, we'll dive into that when we get over here. But copy board, which is what you guys have to do in order to make this your own board. You're going to go in here and copy board, name it a certain name, and put it in whatever folder you want to put it in order to create your own board. So let's get started. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. This is the first one. So this is first impressions, and this is where you're going to have everyone at the first time that you reach out to them. So we're going to put the client name here, and then we're going to have this checklist. And so we have a checklist, and then we have just the details of the client. So the day you contacted, where did you find that client? In Facebook group, LinkedIn, Craigslist, a referral, any Upwork, anything like that, you go ahead and list it here. I always take a screenshot of the initial conversation, whether it's an email or a Facebook message or a message on Craigslist, whatever it is. I just recommend taking a screenshot of it and uploading it here. And then the day you want to follow up can go right there. And actually, you can always change the due dates. So let's say you contact one day and you want to follow up 5 days later, you can go ahead and put the due date in for 5 days later. So I love that feature. And then this is just the details. What do they call themselves? Are they a coach? Are they a online business manager? Are they a CEO of a company? Are they a blogger? What is their title? What is their website and their social media handles? You can add whatever information you need of them in here, and it just helps you keep everything in one place. And honestly, this can help you a lot too when you actually have the meeting, the discovery call with the client. So now let's get into the first checklist. So this is first impressions. This is all about making the best first impression. And you go, whenever you see an ad that you want to reply to, you go ahead and do this whole list. So at first you want to go ahead and research the list. Go to their website, go to their social media. And then once that's done, you check it off. And then if you're like me and you don't want to see the list, the stuff that's checked off, you can hide completed items. And then you make a list of, once you've done the research, you go over your notes, you do the list of top 3 ways you can help their business. And once you have those top 3 ways, you go ahead and check it off. Check it off. And then you create the pitch and bonuses you will include in each pitch. So you guys know we talk about creating that pitch perfect email, right? Or that pitch perfect pitch. And so I'm all about that. So you want to make sure that you put effort into these pitches and you include a couple of bonuses. Something that I may just some ideas, I guess, can be if they're looking for a social media manager, you can send them a couple of graphics, or you can send them, a couple of ideas of what they can post. And so you want to make these bonuses valuable, because they're gonna be like, whoa, this girl or guy has given me so much value already. I can only imagine what they can give to my business. Me and Abby always talk about that. Value, value, value. And then press send. This is the hardest part, right? Sometimes I just close my eyes and press send, especially if it's that dream client. And so I definitely had to add this on here, because we got to make sure to take a risk and press send. And then finally follow up. What I recommend is adding a date. And then once you followed up, you go ahead and check it off. And so that is going through first impressions. And so once you're done with that, you go ahead and once you're done with that and they've responded and you have a discovery call scheduled, then you move it to landing your client. And so landing your client is the process. The discovery call is seriously like the most nerve-wracking. I don't know how to say it, but it's what, I mean, I get nervous still when I'm going to be in a meeting with somebody that I absolutely want to work with. So I definitely recommend putting a lot of effort into this. And we talked about it in the onboarding post. So what I recommend is send a Google Calendar invite. Guys, you guys have no idea how much you guys seem like you're on top of it when you send them a Google Calendar invite, when you send them the link to the meeting if you're using Zoom or Skype. Anything like that is going to make you seem organized and on top of it. And it's going to make you seem more professional. So definitely recommend sending a Google Calendar invite or whatever calendar you're using at the moment. And then you're going to prep for the meeting 2 hours before. If you've seen the Nail the Sell video, you know all that I talk about. So prep before the meeting, read over the notes, make bullets of what you want to go ahead and touch on, the questions that you want to ask. And that's where I get to the Nail the Sell questions. This is super important. We'll go ahead and include a link in the onboarding post, but Nail the Sale questions, and actually we included some examples of what they can be. It can be, hey, tell me about your business. I'd love to know more. Awesome. So what made you start your business? That's crazy. You want to be engaged in the conversation, but make a list of these Nail the Sale questions, and that way you know what you're going to ask when you ask. Because I have been in meetings where I don't know what I'm talking about, and seriously, I feel like I'm rambling this whole time. So I definitely recommend having the questions prepared. And so record video and take notes. This is once the meeting begin. Say, hey, is it okay if I record the video and take some notes? That way, I make sure that I remember everything. And so, if you're like me, you're not going to take too many notes during the meeting because you want eye contact and you want to show interest, and you honestly, if you take notes on one part, you might miss the next part. So. And there might be awkward silences in there. So what I do is I always record a video, and I go back to it after the call, right after the call. I go through the video, and I take notes then. And so then after that, I send the thank you email. And so what this thank you email includes is, hey, thank you so much for meeting with me. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm super excited about working with you. If you have any questions, please let me know. By the way, here's a little bit of what we covered in our meeting, and here's some tips of what you can do to solve your problems or what we can do together as a team. So make that email as fabulous as you can. And so we're done with that list, right? 100%. So what's next? Well, this is when you finally land that client. So this is the third checklist. What do you do when you land that client? When they say, all right, I'm ready to go. What do I do next? Because a lot of the times clients will say, what do we do next? Where do we go from here? So you want to go ahead and send them the contract. Contract is always first. The contract agrees to when they sign that contract, they're going to agree to when they have to pay the invoice and how much they have to pay if they don't submit the payment on time. Also just your business hours and just all the legalities, right? You want to send the contract first. After you send the contract, get it signed, you send the invoice. After the invoice is paid, you'll go ahead and send the welcome packet. And what I like to do with my welcome packet is I send the welcome packet in an email. I send them the actual email saying, hey, I'm super excited to work with you. By the way, let's go ahead and set up our initial meeting to go over all of our tasks that we want to cover in the first week or, as we start working together. And boom, you set up the initial meeting. And the client is officially onboarded. Congratulations. So then what happens now? Well, that stays there. So once they're your client, you keep them here, and that way you have all the information, and you can keep adding information. Like you can add links to their Dropbox where all their passwords are, or any Dropbox folders, any Google Drive folders, anything like that. You go ahead and add it here. And then this is for clients that you have worked with in the past. You can go ahead and add them here. And this is for clients that didn't necessarily decide to work with you at the moment. Either you were out of budget, or they wanted to go ahead and go with somebody else, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they changed their mind about looking for a VA, because a lot of people realize that they're not ready for a virtual assistant until they know what they're going to outsource. So what do you do then? You just move it to here, to the client, to the future outreach. And then you're just going to go ahead and set a due date. So let's say I want to follow up with them on April 11th. And you're going to go ahead and follow up with them on April 11th to see if they have changed their mind, if they have any questions, anything like that. So that way you may be able to land that client. So I'm super excited about this. I actually just thought of something brilliant. I actually have this on my list, on my onboarding board, but I forgot to add it on here. So this is the dream list. I have 4 dream clients that I would love to work with. So I have them listed on here. So what you can do, also I actually want to show you guys how to copy a client, or hold on, let me do this. How to copy this. So you go ahead and copy, you do the name, you keep the checklist, and onboarding, and then see how many, I have a lot of boards. And then you keep it at first impressions, and then you create card, and that way you can transfer the checklist and everything that you need. Because if you don't do that, if you just do the name, I don't know why I'm doing Samantha, I don't even know a Samantha, but if you do the name, then you won't transfer the checklist, and then you'll just have to write it out. And then also, let's say this is a hot lead. This is actually not a bad idea. So let's say you have a hot lead, a warm lead, and a cold lead. So let's go ahead and copy again. Okay. So let's say this is the hot lead. You can make it red. This is the warm lead. You can make it orange. And this is the cold lead. You can make it yellow. And that way you guys have it all organized by hot, warm, and cold leads. These hot leads, you got to get working on them. Build that relationship. Show them what value you can bring to their team. But anyways, before I go on another rant, this is the onboarding board. I would love to know your feedback. Please let us know. Email us at hello@thevirtualsavvy.com or go over to the Virtual Savvy's Facebook, and let us know what you think. We are super excited to share this with you guys, and we're open to any feedback. Thanks and good luck!